Hello and welcome to my YouTube channel Shelvington. My name is Andy and this is my model railway in a garage. In today's episode I'll show you how I make soil, grass and flowers practically for free, and also hedges and bushes really cheaply. Now, I am by no means an expert when it comes to model making and scenery stuff. I make this stuff for me. I know it's not museum quality and I'm never going to win awards for it, but it works for me and my layout. And more importantly, it doesn't cost a fortune like the proper stuff does, and it doesn't take very long to make. If you've got a large area to scenic, I'd suggest using some of these cheaper methods like the ones I'm about to go through with you. Then in your main focal areas, use a more realistic product. I guess what I'm trying to say is if you're going to make a forest, use cheap trees in the middle to fill areas up and use expensive trees around the edge. You'll save yourself a fortune without sacrificing how your layout looks. Right. Let's get into it. So here's what we're going to be using today. Got some scouring pads. So these are going to form the base of hedges that we're going to make. We've got an old car wash sponge. This is going to form the bushes that we're going to make. We've got some old tea bags, which are in here, which are dried. We're going to use that for the soil, and sawdust. This is going to be the base of pretty much the grass, the flowers, pretty much everything. The other things we're going to use are some different colours. So we've got red, blue, yellow there for the flowers. Also got black and white to either lighten or darken any colours that you choose. And then we've just got standard green just for the grass. And of course the last thing you need is good old PVA. Let's make a start. Let's make some grass first. So I'll show you the green, but whatever colour you're using, the process is the same, whether it's for the flowers or whatever else that may be. So we start off with some sawdust. Get our favourite green paint. Add a little bit of paint to the mix. There we go. Add just a couple of dots of water just to help it mix up, and give it a mix. So once that's thoroughly mixed, spread it out on some kind of a baking tray or a plate or something, and then leave it to dry. It will take a couple of days, obviously depending on the weather. I made some in the summer and left it out in the sun. It only took a few hours, but it won't take too long to dry. And once it's dry, it's ready to use on the layout. Once it's dry, you end up with a fine powder, and you can just apply this on your layout as you would any other ground cover, any other scatter. Just lay down a layer of PVA, sprinkle this over the top, and then vacuum up any leftover bits. Now we'll make some hedges. So get your scouring pad and cut it with scissors or a knife. No need to make them straight unless you want a uniform hedge. It's up to you, choice is yours. If you want to make longer hedges, get some scrap cardboard and cut that to whatever size you want. But here's our scouring pad, cut down to around 2 centimeters. Next, what we'll do with that is we will get PVA and cover it in one side. Cover one side with quite a lot of PVA, and we can just brush that on like so. And spread the PVA on quite liberally. Need some more. There we go. Good coating. Then get our dried sawdust. It's in this bowl here. And lay our hedge in there. There we go. One hedge. Now repeat the same for the other side. More PVA. Another good coating. Into a bowl. Give it a real good coat. And there we go. One hedge. So you can make it out of cardboard, so you can make them a lot longer. At this stage you can bend them really easily, so it will hold its shape. You can put them straight onto your layout now, or let that dry. If you want to give it another coat, let it all dry, put some more PVA on. Maybe there's areas that you've missed, like on this one, because I've just done it really quick, so there's a few little, it's not got the corners very well, or the top. But yeah, quick, easy, cheap hedges. Next, soil. Let's just move that out of the way. So we have a few tea drinkers in the house, and needless to say there's usually a healthy supply of old tea bags. So just quite simply open up the old tea bag, spread the contents on a plate, let it dry somewhere on a windowsill just for a few hours, and hey presto, you have soil. You can also use coffee grounds, but we, with it being tea drinkers, we just use these. It costs nothing. You can use normal tea bags, straight from the shop without them being used in your cup of tea first, but I imagine that would work out quite expensive. I know Woodland Scenics make a soil product. I've never used it. I don't know how much it costs, I don't know how much you get, but using old tea bags is free, so that's how I make the soil. Okay, so we've made grass, hedges and soil. Next we're going to have a look at some flowers. So again, you start off with just a raw sawdust, and then you can add whatever colour you like. So this is red, and this is yellow of course, and blue. You can have any colour you want, so oranges or dark blues, light blues, the choice is yours. When this is drying on the windowsill, I've not broken it up as much as I did the grass, so you end up with larger pieces, which are great for ground cover and for flowers. You could use the red, say the larger pieces of red, there could be apples in a tree, or the smaller pieces could be, I don't know, a poppy field. The choice is yours. It's your layout. You'll decide, you'll think where you can use it and what colours you need. But I suggest just experiment with different colours, have a go, and just see what you think. Now let me show you what I've done with the flowers. I got these planter boxes 3D printed from a guy called Rail Scale, I believe. I'll put a link in the description anyway. Check his website out. He does custom prints, he does loads of things. It's really cool anyway, it's a really helpful chap. So these, from a distance, they look okay. So it's just hollowed out, the empty planter box is filled with my soil, or tea leaves, and little bits of green for flowers, and then, little bits of green for leaves, and then a few bits of the coloured sawdust for flowers. But from a distance they look pretty good. Okay, so that's grass, hedges, soil and flowers. Next we're going to move on to bushes using this stuff. We'll clear all this lot out of the way first, and then we'll come back in a few minutes and then we'll make some of this. Right, let's make some bushes now. So get yourself a sponge. I got these, were in a pack of 4 from the local hardware shop. I think they're car wash sponges. You just want the cheapest ones you can find, really. The cheaper the better. You do need a method of shredding them up. Now you can use scissors, but that'll take ages. You can use a kitchen blender, which I used to do until the wife told me off. So I ended up buying a cheap coffee grinder. I think this was $40, but it does the job. I've only bought it just for doing this job. We don't use it for anything else, so there's no no need to worry about cross-contamination bits of sponge with your cup of coffee in the morning. So you get some sponge, you cut it up. I'll just use some scissors just to get it into some smaller pieces. There we go, that will probably do us for now. I'll cut these down a little bit more. Put them into our little blender and turn it on. I'll do this off camera because it is quite noisy, and we'll come back in a few seconds. Okay, that's just had a few seconds, and you should now see that the sponge that used to be is now little bits. So we'll empty that out into a bowl and we'll add some colour to it. So once we've got all our bits, we'll go with green and just put a little bit of green paint in, just as before. Don't need a lot, a little bit of green paint in there. We'll put some water in as well, just to help it mix through. Got an old brush here, we'll just stir it with this brush for now. And then the same as the sawdust, just leave that on a windowsill to dry, and then it's good to go on your layout. If you do small batches of the sponge like that, you can make different colours. So I could do another batch now, and we could add a little bit of white to make it lighter, or some black to make it darker. And then you've got several different colours that you can use, rather than the layout being one uniform green colour. If you make a batch of several different colours, you can mix and match then when you're putting the scatter on the layout. But once that's done anyway, just spread it out on a tray, let it dry. You can use it for bushes, general ground cover, or even trees. So I hope you found this episode useful. If so, hit the like button and consider subscribing to the channel. Also, any comments, any methods of you and how you make your scenery, let me know. Yeah, any comments, always welcome. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And until next time, thanks for watching. Take care. Goodbye.